core poetry was that of losing the conventional notion of an architect creating architecture. Hira, that's the name of my grandmother. That's what she was called by her husband. And the fact that I lived on this land with her for all the years that I did. And then when we took the house down, I mean, what had to take its place had to bring an energy of its own. Hi, I'm Husna Rahaman, and this is Hira, my residence. I welcome you to look at Bill Fai's coffee table book, 10 Homes in Bangalore. It needed to be a residence, it needed to be an office. Well, if you actually look at the site, it couldn't have been more challenging in terms of creating a structure of this magnitude with I sections and floor plans which are constantly upsetting the status quo. The Hira experience begins before you enter the gate. And the moment you swing it open, it reveals itself with an angular walkway. You arrive on the 4th floor, which is the formal living room. The bridges, which are created on the exterior, make their way all the way to the interior, and there is an indivisibility. And also the angularity is such that they're constantly moving on every level. So you're lost and you're found. I am the bridges. I'm individual in my conception. I am singular in my intent. I stand not still, although I allow you to pause. I move to the inside, and yet I reside under the blue canvas. This bridge was created so that it takes you to the edge, you pause a while, enjoy the view, you come back in, and things have to work. You can't have water streaming into your home. Getting the water to slope out through these elements, these channels, so to speak, they are versions of a gutter, but done in a way that it really feels like it's integrated into the architecture. So we have sleek surfaces. The floor is a very nice complement to the greyness of the constant companion, which is the staircase and the bridges. There's a beautiful amber line in the floor which connects stunningly with the tiger's eye. If you were to close these two together, all these black fragments in which you have the planters and the accessories would actually fit in, and it would close like a trunk. The mirror is a very significant part of the room because they're not meant to be elements in which you merely see yourself. They see the architecture. There's a carving of a space, which is the T-bar. And the wall that starts at the entry in terrazzo wraps way into the T-bar niche and becomes part of the powder room. And that area is monolithic. So the materials are mixed on site. The chips of marble are added to the site mix. They're troweled onto the wall and then they're polished. So antiquity is a really special part, and it's dotted in places that you would least expect. In little secret drawers, which are kept on the floor. My grandmother's dupatta that she wore on her wedding day. It was just for a day, my wedding day, that I was worn, that I would live on. I would never have known that I would be part of this room, this time, this space, that a story about me would be told. You climb a flight of stairs and the entire following floor is my mother's suite, which is the study, her lounge and the master bedroom. We look at the perforated, what I call the in-between floor made in metal. The master bedroom is in the treetops. To address the trees, this tub is positioned at an angle. The bed has a headboard on two sides because the views are amazing on both ends. So why limit a person to saying that's just where you sleep? So you can take either end. The floor below, 2 bedrooms, children's rooms or guest rooms, so to speak. So the building reaches the crescendo at the dining space, and what better space can there be in which to have Hajra's recipes of life for life, my grandmother's beautifully received cookbook, her kitchenware placed on the wall in a way that feels like she's constantly watching us. Wood, stone, benches, formal chairs. So there's that quasi-state. There is a casual air to this end, the third of the dining, whereas this one, a lot more formal for people who want to sit up. Across every bridge, there are different layers of the office. Kinetic, dynamic. It challenges the notion that architecture is fixed and permanent, because even walls have wings. And when you see the conference room open up the way that it does and then close, that just changes the way that the space is used and experienced. Well, the office culminates, which is the nothing space. That is a common space used by us at the office in Fulcrum Studio, as well as the residents. So that's a beautiful meeting spot. I'm fascinated by metal, and I've employed that to create the nothing space with its perforations. So many versions of the solid actually create reflections and shadows. So you often have this illusion between what's real and what isn't. The metallic anatomy, coupled with planks of honest bare wood. The natural scape is like an urban desert. I always said Hira took what she needed. Hira knew what she wanted, and everything else pivoted around it. Hira is what it is because of the life I shared with her. She is omnipresent here because she's always been that way in my life. So I don't need a checklist to make it happen. It's there. It just needs to manifest itself through my art. I don't grieve. I celebrate. Sometimes when people in the family might say that, she's in a better place, I chuckle to myself because she's in my place. She's not in a paradise beyond, because I know she wanted to be with me. And that was her constant joy. And I know that's where she is. It's no longer about brick and stone. It's much beyond. And when you work with that kind of spiritual fervor, then the outcome is something that is a legacy of experience forevermore.